Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Offenders Podcast. I'm Kyle, and sitting right next to me today is Evan Jones.
Howdy everybody, hope y'all are doing fine today.
Alright, well, before we get into our special guest today, Evan, Microsoft listened to the podcast last week.
They did?
They did, and they changed everything that we said was bullshit about that system.
Thank goodness for us.
They sure did. They went back, they pulled all the DRM stuff. Let me say one thing. They didn't pull everything. The Kinect still watches you masturbate. But they did pull all the stupid used game, constantly online DRM bullshit.
Good.
So, I'm still not going to buy one of the pieces of shit, but they did listen and they changed their minds.
Well, this greatly increases the potential for me playing Killer Instinct because somebody else will probably buy one now, even though I'm not, but I'll still get to play it because somebody else will probably buy one.
This is true. I'm just glad to know that somebody else is out there listening to the podcast other than me and you.
Yeah.
So Microsoft listens. So if there's anybody else out there listening and they want to make a change in the world, I need a girlfriend. So you can message me on my Twitter with your number, and we can get this hooked up and going on.
That's right. He needs a girlfriend. I need a beautiful woman to marry that's not going to drive me fucking crazy. But I also need to win the lottery. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I did. Anyways, so we kind of teased a special guest last week. We didn't really say who it was because we didn't want to...
Woo!
Yeah, we didn't really want to, get people too hyped up if he couldn't make it. But he did. I'm not going to lie to you, Evan. I'm surprised that he was willing to come all the way down to Macon to interview with us. I thought he was going to ask us to come up, to Atlanta or somewhere.
I do a lot of stuff for the guy, so it's the least he could do, stupid bastard.
Oh, man. All right, so let me... Little behind the scenes here. So the first thing when he comes down here to interview with us, Evan pisses him off. Starts talking shit to the guy. So I'm surprised he's still here. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought he was going to dip. But he stayed.
And he didn't have any tobacco in his mouth. Dip.
Oh my God. Alright, so without further ado, our special guest to this week is one half of the Pan-Galactic Tag Team Champions, Maestro Awesome McKickass.
There he is.
Hey, well, calm down. No. Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't kill him, not while I'm here, fuck.
Little bastard. Hello, my name is Maestro Awesome McKickass. How you doing today?
Oh my God, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've seen a lot of your work, so...
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that it wasn't confiscated by the police. That's pleasant to hear.
Well, I have the internet, so I can get a lot of things that the police don't want you to have.
Where can you find that? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. All right, well, for those of the few people out there who don't know who Maestro Awesome McKickass is, tell these people who you are and why you're so awesome.
Well, we don't have enough time for that, so I'll be brief. My name is Maestro Awesome McKickass. I'm a wrestler who's come over from Japan, in Akihabara, Japan. I trained over there when I was about 19 under a guy named Fishy in a place called the Hidden Pro Wrestling Dojo, located in Akihabara. I can't really tell you how to get there, or else it wouldn't be hidden, would it?
That's true, yeah.
Well, the point is, I did a lot of work over there, scared a lot of people, fucked up a lot of people's lives after they paid me their good hard-earned money for it, and we got in a lot of trouble. We had a federation called the Badass Degenerates Nefarious Excellent Wrestling Society, a.k.a. Bad News.
That's a long acronym.
It is, and we had some pretty crazy times there. People said that we actually summoned one of the great Oni devils from the mountains, and I can't say that I had any part of that, but, only a few people actually know the truth to that. But regardless, I did that for a while, and then after we had the army and the police coming after us, I decided to leave the country. And then I came back over here to America, met a guy named Hamburger Lynn, and we went out to outer space to become the Pan-Galactic Tag Team Champions. Then after nobody could kick our ass out there for a long enough time, we ended up coming back here and doing commentary and just showing up and making asses of ourselves. And recently we've been enjoying these things called conventions. We've been going to these anime conventions and comic book conventions and interviewing people and having a good time. And every now and then we do wrestling stuff and show people the ropes. But I just do a lot of sitting around because, when you're the Pan-Galactic Tag Team Champion, you don't really need money because you've got tons of it and you just sit at home watching funny shit on the internet all day.
Well, that's kind of something I was wondering about. Like, when you're that good, is it almost upsetting to know that you can't do what you love because everybody else is so much shittier than you are, and that you know you're just going to totally annihilate them if you try?
Actually, it's kind of relaxing. I mean, if you look at Shaolin monks, for example, they're the most passive dudes on Earth. But that's because they know that they can kill you with their fucking pinky finger. So what is there to be upset about? Nothing. You just wake up in the morning and you have some coffee. And you're like, hey, nobody can kick my ass today, so I'll do whatever I feel like. And I'm a nice guy, so I don't feel like hurting anybody.
Well, do you ever take people under your belt to, like, maybe try to pass on the talent that you have, maybe to the next generation?
Yes. There's actually a movie coming up from an independent film crew coming out of Cordeal, I think it is, called The Suplex. And one of my unnamed disciples will be in there, but you'll see him coming up soon. He doesn't want me to talk too much about him until he's got his shit together, but he actually has almost my exact old mask from my Pangalactic days, and be ready for him. The kid loves pizza, and he loves kicking ass, and yeah, you know, I trained a lot of kids back in the day for Hidden Pro Wrestling after I graduated myself, but as for right now, you know, it's just sitting around a lot, and you know, every now and then I'll go down to Curves and teach women how to powerbomb each other, you know, self-defense classes, and a lot of hanging out with Hamburger Lynn and walking around town, not really having any responsibility. It's fucking beautiful.
Why do women need to learn how to powerbomb each other?
Because they're sure as fuck not gonna beat anybody up standing in place, jumping up and down, punching the air. They need to learn how to fucking do a goddamn Fujiwara armbar on people. They need to learn how to do a pile driver on people, because that's the shit that's gonna make their fucking raper guys get their necks broken, and then they can't rape anybody anymore. Am I right?
I guess. I mean, have you ever thought about maybe teaching like some kind of crazy muscle control so like their vaginas could just like lop the dude's dick off? And then they have evidence to who it was, and they can take it to the cops, and the cops can find the guy?
That's a great idea, but I have no idea how to control women's muscles in their vaginas, or I would have a muscled vagina girlfriend who would just massage my hands and my dick at all times.
A muscle vagina girlfriend.
She could be gentle, you know, it's like when you get a massage, you don't want them to be too tender. You want them to drop the elbow sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. She'd just be like dropping the elbow on your dick with her vagina.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like getting a hand job from a vagina. So it'd be like a vagina job.
Isn't it called sex?
Well, I mean, I guess. We're getting into some deep waters here. I mean, what is sex? I mean, is there a lot of muscle control normally in it?
I don't have much muscle control, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
Well, neither one of us are licensed sex therapists, so I think we should just move on to maybe a different topic with this and everything.
But if there are any girls out there who have adequate vagina control, you know, visit Kyle here, because he said he needs a girlfriend, so, you know, hit him up on his Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to, you know, be my girlfriend, that's cool. I'll still have sex with you.
Yeah, vagina control. What the hell? Wow,
yeah.
Blew my mind, man.
Well, let's clear it off the wall and get back to some questions. So, you talked about some of the moves that you've taught or want to teach people, but what is, like, your signature move? What is the move that when people see that coming from Maestro Ultimate Kick-Ass, they all shit their pants because they know it's about to go down?
Well, I've had a number of moves in my day, but I think the one I'm most famous for would be Death Breath. It is a variation of the great Muda's Dogukiri, which is another word for poison mist. Myself, mine is artificially enhanced because I don't have any fucking excellent throat glands that make poisonous viscous fluids. So what I do is I take Helltoids, which are the most powerful mints known to man, and depending on the flavor, that is going to be the death which I breathe onto my opponents. Cinnamon, slaughter, spearmint, slaying, you know, licorice, lacerations. You know, I've got one for each of them. The ginger genocide has nothing to do with killing redheads. But I mean, like, take for instance, one of the greatest matches I ever had with the serious motherfucker Kenji Ryoto back in the Bad News days.
Serious motherfucker would be pretty awesome.
Serious motherfucker, yeah. I guess if they can't pronounce ours, that would be his name anyway.
Yeah.
But the serious motherfucker and I fought all the way through Shinjuku's red light district, and I ended up kicking his ass with spearmint slaughter. And in front of fucking everybody down there, it was great. I'm pretty sure you can still get a DVD of that somewhere in Japan, but I would be careful because it can get you into legal troubles.
Like I said, the internet.
Yeah, the internet. I also had another move called the Hellbow, where I would get up on the top rope and do a cartwheel across the rope, kind of like The Undertaker did, but he would walk, but I would do a cartwheel. I would jump up in the air and drop him with the elbow, like the Midness Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah.
You just channeled him there for a moment.
I channel him as much as I can because he's the only dude who's more awesome than me.
Yeah. Moment of silence. All right, moment's over. All right, so...
Yeah.
What does the future hold for you, Maestro Awesome McKickass? Should I call you by your full name, or can I just call you Mr. McKickass, or should I call you the
Call me Maestro.
Maestro, okay.
Maestro.
I want to make sure I got that right.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, I have a lot of people always asking me questions and advice and shit on the internet. I use it every now and then. Thankfully, Evan Jones, the guy whose ass I just kicked, helped me learn how to use a computer pretty well, because before that, I was too busy actually living a life to sit in front of a computer. But now that I have nothing else to do, that's pretty much all I do. So the future is like, what the hell do I want to do today? Do I want to eat 17 boxes of Golden Grams and run a marathon? Do I want to go beat up some drug dealers? Do I want to open my own wrestling academy? Who knows? I know in the immediate future we got Anime Week in Atlanta and Dragon Con coming up,
Yes.
so myself and Hamburger will be there interviewing people and asking them awkward questions to see what kind of facial reactions they have, and hopefully looking at a lot of pretty women.
I think me and Evan will be there too, maybe trying to interview some people. Maybe we can tag team interview.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, you know, I've listened to a couple of your podcasts before, and
Oh, okay.
you guys are pretty funny. Evan's a piece of shit, but he's a good kid, you know.
Yeah, make sure you go post that on his Facebook too.
Yeah,
Evan Jones is
Evan
a piece
Jones
of shit.
is a piece of shit.com or whatever you do on the fucking internet.
Fuck, I should have bought that domain name.
It's not too late. I'm sure nobody else has bought it yet.
Oh, totally.
Somebody needs to, though, that fucking kid. You notice he hasn't woken up yet.
Yeah.
That's because I'm so awesome.
Yeah, it's better too. I think he's very unprofessional in the podcasting world, so we need to keep him down as long as possible. In fact, would you like to replace him?
You know, that might be a good idea. Let me see if I can fit that into my busy schedule of doing absolutely fucking nothing. Sold. Anytime you need me, you call me. And I will beat up Evan Jones and knock his ass out and sit on this very comfortable denim jacket couch.
That's what I'm talking about.
It needs some fucking... For those of you out there in internet land, I'm sitting on a couch that belongs to Evan Jones that is completely made out of fucking jean material.
It's pretty awesome, truthfully.
But if it was really awesome, it would have like a creator patch and fucking Slayer and Minor Threat and all kinds of cool shit on it. But Evan Jones is not as awesome as me, so obviously it's just an empty fucking stupid denim jacket couch.
Well, on the back of this pillow, he has a My Little Pony sticker, if that counts.
He does?
Yeah.
What a fucking brony. I can't believe that shit. Wow.
Well, he flipped it. That's why he's a hidden brony. He's still in the closet about it.
Oh, he is?
But we won't let him know that we brought him out. Well, everybody, this just be the lie we keep.
Okay,
For
that
Evan's
sounds
sake.
good. Now, I knew that he has jerked off before to pictures of monster women because he told me that. But, you know, bronies is like a totally different level. You know, everybody has their thing. I like to have my hair played with, you know, but that's just me. But
Fair
a
enough.
brony, I mean, come on. Jesus Christ.
I know. Well, we've got some questions from fans to
Okay.
ask you. But before we do that, there's a history. I don't know, have you ever seen a television show called Inside the Actor Studio?
Yes.
Okay, so you know at the end, the host, Mr. James Lipton, he asked these 10 questions. He actually took from a French television show called Apostrophes by Bernard Pivot, and he asked these 10 questions of the celebrities. I would like to ask those 10 questions of you today.
That sounds great. And I think it's also great that the guy would take time off from making the most delicious fucking tea in the planet to interview actors. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same guy, but we'll just assume it is.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
All right, well, so, the first question is, what is your favorite word?
Awesome.
What is your least favorite word?
Wow, what is my least favorite word? Probably... Man, I don't know. Let's go with brony.
Okay.
No, wait. My least favorite word is Christian. Yes, because he's a horrible wrestler, and there's too many of them around here in Georgia.
All right. What turns you on?
Wow, I would say Japanese women between the ages of 18 and 40.
Okay, I'm glad that age was higher than I almost expected, because we don't want to get into that kind of territory.
You know, I stayed only in Japan long enough not to become a complete freak.
Okay.
Just long enough to say, hey, she's 18 years old, and I'm 31, so that's still okay.
All right.
Which is still slightly creepy.
What turns you off?
What turns me off? WWE. That's the worst fucking excuse for wrestling I've ever seen in my goddamn life. In wrestling, you're supposed to fucking cause grievous injury and blood flow to erupt from your opponent. You're not supposed to sit there looking like Eminem and fucking Jim Varney, fucking Ernest P. Worrell put together and make stupid catchphrases to make little children and old women happy. Wrestling is a fucking man sport, and men pick each other up and throw each other through tables that are made of fire and death and cause, once again, grievous injury and bloodshed. But WWE is nothing more than a fucking archaic copyright that people watch because they own the monopoly, because they've destroyed everything else with their fucking money. So my least favorite thing, the thing that turns me off more than anything else, would be WWE.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel about that?
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Oh, you were being sarcastic.
Yeah.
A little slow on the upkeep there.
Okay. What sound or noise do you love?
I really, really, really enjoy the jingle, if you will, of the train coming into the station of Akihabara's JR line. There's a specific jingle that you hear when the train is approaching. And each, for those of you who've never been to Japan, each train station in Japan on the JR line has its own jingle. And you can actually find them on YouTube. But it's one of the most calming sensations because you know all you have to do is sit on your ass and eventually you will get to where you need to go. If you fall asleep, like on the Yamanote line, you just keep going in a fucking circle so you can wake up and eventually you'll get where you're going. So that provides a sense of security to me.
Okay. Well, what sound or noise do you hate?
Farts. Because I know that no matter how funny they sound, it's about to get fucking serious.
Okay. What is your favorite curse word?
Goddamn.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Music, without a doubt. You know, I don't like to talk about my past too much, but I am a pretty good drummer and a pretty good guitar player. So I think if all things were different and I was not a pan-galactic wrestling champion and a wrestling trainer, I would have liked to explore the world of music, like my good friend Straight Edgy Urakawa, which is a straight edge wrestler that I used to wrestle with in Japan. He's got a band called X Smoke Bomb X. They're straight edge hardcore and they're fucking magnificent.
Nice.
They put out an album once which had all members standing on the front of it, and it was called, which I think is the most clever album title ever, Soft Drinks for Hard Motherfuckers.
All right. What profession would you not like to do?
I probably wouldn't enjoy making penises in a factory too much, although I wouldn't enjoy selling things too much either, especially if you had to work at like one of those Build-A-Bear places. That would probably suck because you'd have to listen to children cry all day, then you'd have to make some stupid fucking Hello Kitty teddy bear that has a cat's head on it, and that just doesn't even make sense. I don't know. What else wouldn't I... Because I have a lot of time doing things that I enjoy. I never really spend time thinking about what I would not enjoy. I would probably not enjoy having to work in a tuna fish factory because it would smell like nasty vagina all day, and you would carry that scent with you like a dead body. There's nothing you can do to wash that off. No matter who you see, even if you're in professional business attire, they're going to be like, that guy just had sex with a whore.
Yeah.
But no, I just came from a tuna fish, which is a very reputable company, but I just happen to smell like tuna fish. Like Fishy, that poor bastard. Yeah, let's go with working in a tuna fish factory.
Okay.
Fuck you, Fishy. You kicked my ass for years.
All right. So the last question is, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
My son, you have finally arrived. No, wait. He would say, that was fucking classy when you beat the shit out of all of those police officers and the innocent store owners and the Yakuza members when you kicked the serious motherfucker Kenji Ryoto's ass in Shinjuku, which I think is my personal highlight of my career, because anybody can beat up 7-armed reptilian monsters in outer space. But who the fuck can beat up the toughest Street Fighter ex-biker degenerate known to Japan? This guy right here. So he would probably say, I really like what you did when you kicked that serious motherfucker's ass. That's what he would say to me. And then he'd be like, hey, you're in the wrong place.
We also would have accepted not in the face as another one.
Not in the face. Well, if that's God, I probably wouldn't be arrogant enough to punch him. Because, what if God is like some kind of gigantic hippopotamus? You could punch a bear and that's just a bear, like the Zangief guy from Street Fighter. But if you punch a gigantic fucking hippopotamus that can also turn your face into an asshole because he's God, you don't want to mess with that kind of power,
That's true.
Because then you'd be asshole face.
Yeah, like Evan.
Yeah, well, he's not an asshole face. He's a shithead. Get it right.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, well, that's the 10.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, wow. I almost got hit with a side clip of that thing over there.
Yeah, well, he needs to quit fucking whining because he'll never be awesome if all he does is get knocked out and whine when he comes to. Because, let me ask you a question if I can be the James Lipton. If you get knocked out and you're surrounded by a crowd of beautiful women, what is the first thing you say when you come to?
If I got knocked out and I came to and I was surrounded by a bunch of beautiful women, do I know who knocked me out?
No, because there's going to be short-term amnesia from your head impacting in the concrete, yeah.
I'd probably just look up and I'd try to say something really smooth, and I'd just be like, oh, I was just knocked out by the beauty of all of you.
Why doesn't this man have a girlfriend? That's far smoother than anything I could think of. Wow. Now, why didn't I fucking think of that?
If I knew who did it, I'm not really one to fight. So what I would then do is I would figure out what they love and what would really hurt them, and I would destroy that. So like if they love their car, I'd just go like key it and smash the windows and smash the tires or whatever it took. Because if I hit him in the face, his face will heal. His car takes money to repair.
Like if you did that on a kid, you would have keyed a kid. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, I know. Hit him again. That was a shitty joke.
That was a pretty good pun, but he just needs to stay the fuck knocked out. Because I'm fucking handling business here. I graced his fucking filthy ass house with my awesomeness.
You had to clean the tissues up before you sat down.
What a nice guy. I take it back. Evan Jones is not a shithead. Because he could have just said that he blew his nose on it, but left it. Hey, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
That one must have snuck by.
I take that back. He's a piece of shit.
All right. Well, we got some questions from fans here we're going to ask. Okay?
Oh, great. Wait, those weren't from... Who was those from?
Those were from... The original ones were... The first ones were from me.
Oh, okay.
I took a lot of time to think about these, man. This is like the first interview I've ever done with somebody of your caliber.
That's like some really hard-hitting questions.
Thanks.
You didn't ask me my favorite scent, though.
Okay.
What, you gonna ask me?
We gotta leave questions for the next time.
God damn it.
Well, maybe one of these questions is about your favorite
scent.
scent.
Let's find out.
I'll go ahead and give you a heads up. None of them are. Alright, so the first question came from last week.
That's my favorite cuss word, god damn it, you see?
Yeah.
I went right to it.
Alright, so from last week, me and Evan were asked a question, but we wanted to save this for you. Okay?
Well, I'll be. Thank you, boys.
So, Steven asked, you're transported back to 1982 in the appropriate clothes with the appropriate ID and paperwork and $100 cash. You won't continue aging again until 2013. What 3 items do you take back in time with you? What do you do from 1982 to 2013? And do you change anything in history? So we'll take this piece by piece, okay?
Okay.
You're transported back to 1982. Now I'm going to go ahead and say $100 cash in 1982. So if we took $100 from today, it actually only translates to about $280-something back then. So it's really not a lot of money.
How the fuck did you figure that out? Are you a time math wizard or something?
Yes.
Whoa.
All right. So let's up that amount to something that's feasible to live off of. We'll say you have the ability to go back with like 10,000. That's enough that you could maybe survive for a while to get situated in the past. Okay. Now you're not going to age basically for almost 30 years. What 3 items do you take back in time with you?
Can these be imaginary items, or do they have to be currently existing in the modern universe?
Let's go with things that currently exist in the modern universe.
I would take...
Well, you know what? No, fuck it. They can be imaginary, because we're already time traveling, so fuck it, whatever.
No. I'll play nice.
Okay.
I would take Bill Gates' current credit account card, his current credit card, so I'd have way more than $300 cash, because you only said cash. So that would give me enough to use whatever the fuck I want to do with. So that's one thing I would do.
But his credit card wouldn't be valid back then.
Shit. Okay, I take that back. I would take an extra mask,
Okay.
another pair of gym shorts, and a permanent marker. Ask me why I'd have a permanent marker.
Why would you have a permanent marker?
Because that's a really important part of the next question that you're going to ask me. I have to draw X's on my hands. Go ahead and ask me the next part.
Why are you going to draw X's on your hands?
Because if I was in 1983? 1982, I would be on tour paying my fucking way with fucking Minor Threat, hanging out with Ian MacKaye, the guy who invented straight edge, because I am straight edge, and I would be his fucking roadie, and if the drummer passed out, I would play drums for him, and I would make millions of awesome memories, and I would write a memoir about going on tour with the guy who invented straight edge. And then I would also make my own band happen. And then when I got tired of being in a band, since I never age, I would start wrestling way earlier than 2000, so I could fucking train back with the Great Muta and spend like 3 years at his training camp, and I would come up with some fucking awesome face paint to go on top of my mask, because I never take my mask off. And then any extra money that I would have from all of the fucking profit margins from the band and the wrestling that I'm doing, I would open up an orphanage, and I would completely fund that by the profits from making people miserable through all of my other extracurricular activities as homage to Tiger Mask, Naoto Date.
Yes.
Who is the fucking greatest man ever to have lived in this world, because Kaneko Man is the greatest man to have ever lived, but in this world would be Naoto Date. For those of you who don't know, I lived in Japan for a while, as I mentioned. Naoto Date was a wrestler named Tiger Mask. He was the most vicious and violent wrestler in the history of fucking anything until Bad News showed up. But he took all of his money and donated it to orphanages so children could grow up and be upstanding citizens of the world and beat the shit out of people like you're supposed to do. And if you look back in history, some people even acted like they were Tiger Mask and anonymously donated shit to charity and fucking orphanages. So that would be my way of paying tribute to him.
That's like a big thing over in Japan, though, to anonymously donate money under the name of Tiger Mask, though, isn't it? It's not like it's a few people. It's like it still reoccurs constantly now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking awesome thing to happen, because here in America, not to sound like an expatriate or shit, but people are just fucking assholes everywhere you go here. You can walk down the street in Japan with money in your hand and fucking nobody will bother you. Even the goddamn Yakuza are the most fucking considerate, courteous people I've ever met. You know, they might beat the shit out of a guy that they know, but if they're standing in your way, they'll get out of your fucking way. And I can't believe that. But over here, people act like it's their fucking job to get up in the morning and breathe air. But in reality, they should be fucking happy that I haven't killed their asses yet, because they're assholes and all they do is make other people miserable.
See, you're going to make me feel bad because my response to this question is completely selfish.
Oh, well, go ahead.
So, the 3 items I would take back would be, 1, I would take a sports almanac back in time. So I'd have all the, basically what's going to happen with all the sports up till, 2013. So I could Back to the Future that shit and, gamble on them and win. I would do the same thing with lotteries. I'd take back all the lottery numbers and the really big jackpots so I could bet on those because I know what's going to come out of those. And then the third thing I would take would be I would take a computer from now with the software to statistically analyze all that shit so I can make sure I got the maximum profit for all this money I had to invest in all this stuff.
That is a good answer. However, I do see a flaw in your logic.
What's that?
If you are consistently winning every gamble that you ever make, you are eventually going to attract the names and the the interests of people who normally would have been winning there, and they're going to see that you are consistently taking all of their fucking money, and eventually they're going to get very upset and probably try to have you killed. So you need to figure out, before you go back in time, how to make your statistics machine make sure that you win in a fashion that does not make you look like a guy who has the fucking answers to everything.
Well, that's why you don't bet on everything. You only bet on, like, the ones where you have the chance to get the most. Like, what you do is you bet on the ones where it's like an upset. I didn't expect this guy to suddenly win. Oh my God, this boxer won a match that he wasn't scheduled to win. He had crazy odds in his favor, so you win a lot of money on those. You don't bet at the same gambling houses all the time. You bet at different ones. And you get other people to bet for you and just cut them in on part of the profit, so the money goes to them, but they end up paying you in the end after you've given them the information.
That's a pretty solid plan. But how do you know who to gamble with? Just people who normally are important and have money?
Well, you just go to Vegas. You can gamble there on sports all the time.
Fair enough.
So
that's a much better, well thought out plan, financially speaking, than mine was. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money than I would have.
Well, yours probably sounds like a lot more fun and safe than mine, though, so.
I don't know, dude. Making money for free sounds pretty fun and safe.
True. All right.
But that's why I'm a wrestler and you're a fucking math time travel wizard.
This is true. All right, so the next question comes from Crystal. Crystal asked, what is the secret to great life, longevity, great sex, and good health?
Running and lifting fucking weights. Because if you play World of Warcraft all goddamn day, your dick eventually will stop working because you're going to have back problems. So get your ass off the fucking couch and go run around your fucking neighborhood, for fuck's sake. I don't even know if that's what kids do anymore these days. I mean, do people still play World of Warcraft?
I think they do, but I think people are slowly stopping. I know, I heard they had lost, millions of subscribers in the last couple of months.
Did you just go back in time with your time magic and tell them that I said that?
I can't, divulge that information, yay or nay.
Well, thank you for looking out for the history of mankind, or the future of mankind. I don't think it matters to you, Time Wizard. What's another question?
Alright, so, next question, it says, this is from Jonathan. Would you consider helping build a longboat and pillaging up the coast of the United States?
Abso-motherfucking-lutely. I would build that boat by myself. Actually, I wouldn't build the boat because I don't know how to build a fucking boat. But the pillaging part sounds like a lot of fun. We could specifically use your time, math, wizardry skills to figure out what places are going to be the most vulnerable, and then just go take them out. And then, wait, did he say which coast?
Well, it has two. He just says coast in general.
Oh, well, yeah, fuck it. Let's go to both coasts. Let's pillage the whole goddamn thing. That sounds great.
What we could do is we could make it an amphibious vehicle. So, we could pillage the coast, and then we could drive along the border and pillage the border, and then we could go onto the other coast and pillage up it, and then drive back along the border pillaging.
That sounds fucking awesome.
So we'd be like land Vikings.
Man.
And water Vikings.
Can we make it look like, that robot dog from the Megadude video game, where you would just jump inside of it, and it'd be like a submarine vehicle, but it would have a dog's head on it? Because didn't Viking ships have dogs' heads on them?
They had some kind of animal head on the top of it.
So there we go.
All right, so the answer to that question is hell yes.
Yes.
All right.
Goddamn yes.
If your life were to be taken from you, what do you think you would come back as? And it adds, this is a highly theoretical question because we all know the maestro can't die. And this comes from Jacob.
Well, thank you for your kind words, Jacob. I would like to what do I think I would come back as? Not what would I like to come back as.
Yes.
Hopefully, with all the good I have done for the world and destroying alien races who wish to invade our precious planet Earth, and all the people that I've destroyed their happiness by doing outrageously violent things. I think I'm somewhere in the middle of karma, so hopefully I would just come back as another middle-class citizen with a job that doesn't suck. But what I would like to come back as would be a double D sports bra.
I would ask why, but I already know why, because that seems like it would be pretty awesome.
All you have to do is hold boobs all day. How much fucking better of a life could you have than that?
I mean, I don't have a response. That sounds good to me.
Yes. But I think I would be somewhere, I would be like a middle class salary man.
All right. So we got one last question. This one comes from Willie. It says, what's the most awesome event the Awesome One has experienced?
Well, I don't know. As Maestro Awesome and Kick-Ass, I've been through unnameable, innumerable, amazing feats. Not necessarily of my own doing, but just witnessing some pretty outstanding things. But I think, probably, although I have the most fun fighting the serious motherfucker, Kenji Ryoto, I would say winning the Pan-Galactic Tag Belts would probably be the most awesome thing that I have ever done. Because, I mean, up until I met Hamburger Lynn, I didn't even know that you could leave Earth. I thought that you would, like, implode or some shit, but apparently there's shit out there that people here don't know about. And I can't talk about it too much because, well, I'm about to sound like one of those fucking crazy government redneck dudes. But the government will probably ask me how I know this shit. I don't want to get into that conversation, but winning the Pan-Galactic Tag Team Champion belts, definitely. No, I'm sorry. Doing this interview on the Offenders Podcast.
That's the correct answer.
That's the correct answer.
I was about to buzz you wrong, but that's the correct answer.
Yes.
Well, I have a question about the belts.
Okay.
So, it's been years since I watched wrestling, because as you noted earlier, it's pretty much garbage right now.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
So, I'm assuming the belts here are supposed to be made out of gold and stuff like that. So, is gold the precious material they're made out of in space, or are they made out of something else?
It's funny that you should ask that question. If I were to explain the molecular buildup of the Pan-Galactic Tag Team Champion belts, even a math technological time wizard such as yourself's brain may implode. I had to have it broken down into simple terms which I cannot disclose for the safety of our planet yet. But I will say this. Myself and Hamburger took our Pan-Galactic Tag Team Champion belts to Dragon Con last year. And thankfully, we had some pretty high-tech business suitcases which did not completely erode in the presence of such an amazing material. But nonetheless, the closest that I could say the buildup would be is that which was in the Ark of the Covenant way back in the day. You know, some people might think that they know what the most powerful source in the universe is, but that's because they haven't held the fucking Pan-Galactic Tag Team Championship belts in their hands, or moved the Ark of the Covenant around.
So basically, if we were to gaze upon them, it would melt our faces like the Nazis.
That would be a kind death.
Oh. Fair enough. Well, Maestro, I want to thank you again for coming onto the podcast, and I want to apologize for how rudely Evan treated you earlier. And he deserved everything you gave him. He actually deserved more. You held back.
Yeah, let me wake his ass up. Hey, kid, wake up, god damn it.
Boobies, Evan.
It didn't work at all. All he did was the noise again. I thought I told him about that last time. Oh well, he can go back to sleep. Yeah, thanks for having me here. Next time I'll try not to hit your friend. And, yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, if people want to follow you, where can they check you out at?
Well, I have a YouTube channel where you can see myself and Hamburger Lynn going to Dragon Con and Anime Week in Atlanta and wherever the hell else we decide to take a video camera. It's youtube.com/MaestroAwesome. And I also recently, thanks to Evan Jones, got myself a Facebook page.
Okay.
And it's facebook.com/MaestroAwesome. But they wouldn't let me put my name on there, Maestro Awesome and Kick-Ass, because apparently it would offend somebody. So it's my name backwards, which is Ortsim Asachim or something.
Well, we'll put a link to that in the description.
Thank you. If anybody out there is dyslexic, they knew exactly what the fuck I was talking about.
But that makes me think of something. You said that they didn't let you put your real name because people might be offended. Well, you know, some people are kind of offended by our podcast because of what we say in it. And we want to put something in the beginning to let people know that they don't need to be offended, or that they need to be offended and be ready for it. Do you think that you could maybe do a message, like we could record you and you could do the intro for our podcast?
Like right now?
Well, we don't have to do it right now. We can record it later, but would you be willing to record a warning for the intro of our podcast?
It would be my pleasure, sir, to be identified with such a fine, upstanding podcast as yourself.
All right, awesome. Well, I think you can find Evan on Facebook.com/the Tengu Ninja, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right. He's probably the shittiest ninja I've ever seen in my life, if I may add. But that just could be because I am awesome the kick-ass, and he's just a normal human ninja.
Well, I don't know. Have you ever seen him coming?
I'm not going to answer that question because I know where you're going with that.
Damn it.
That was a valiant effort, young man. But you got to wake up a little bit earlier in the morning to fool me.
All right.
What time did you wake up this morning?
I was like 10 o'clock.
Wrong answer. You should have said early enough to get a joke and then put another joke in just then.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Now
That's why you're
you-
awesome.
Exactly. Now you have learned.
Well, like I said, you can find Evan on the Facebook.com/the Tengu Ninja. You can find me on Twitter at Zombie Jesus Here, which is Zombie Jesus HERE. We also we have a web page now. It took me a lot of effort to get this working because while I might be some kind of math technological time wizard, I'm a web page moron. So I got it up, I got it going, so you can see our webpage. It's wearetheoffenders.com. You can follow our RSS feed from there. You can also get us now on iTunes. We're just the Offenders Podcast on there. Or you can find us on YouTube. If you like what you hear, you can hit the like button or rate us on iTunes. If you don't like what you hear, you can still hit the like button and rate us on iTunes. So
I like your style, young man.
all right. Well, until next time, I'm Kyle. That's Evan on the floor, and this is
Maestro Awesome the Kick-Ass.
y'all have a good one.
Good night.
Peace.
Evan, wake up, you fucking pansy. Get up, fucking sword, piece